Hello Northwestern. In today's episode of Trojan Way TV, we highlight an award-winning piece of Trojan culture, explore the challenges regarding the pandemic, and get a pulse on how our students are feeling about the new continuous learning model. I'm Daniel Thomas, and this is Trojan Way TV. Hello and welcome back. In our first story, we take you over to Savannah, who has highlights on an award-winning Northwestern publication.
Thank you, Daniel. While 2020 was a year of ups and downs for our school and campus, the yearbook staff has managed to produce their annual body of work, the Aeneid. The Aeneid was named after the epic poem by Virgil about the Trojan War, is a staple of Northwestern's culture and history, and has been produced every year since Northwestern's founding in 1972. Those who purchased the 2020 yearbook, titled Back in Focus, hold a piece of award-winning Northwestern history. At the annual Scholastic Press Association conference, the Aeneid received an all-state ranking, making it one of the best yearbooks in the state in terms of writing, photography, and design.
We did win an all-state award, and that's not an easy accomplishment, I have to say. I had a fantastic staff who worked really hard, even through shutdown, to get that yearbook finished and done really well. We really turned up the photography. We had some really fantastic photographers last year. We really turned up our photography, and of course our stories and layout are really important. The design of the yearbook was very important to create an award-winning book, and we're super proud of everything that we accomplished.
Along with the all-state ranking, several students won individual competitions as well. Macy Petty, class of 2020, won third place for her design and coverage of the homecoming pep rally in October 2019. Hannah Cook placed third in her coverage of the coronavirus shutdown and how students prepared to learn virtually. And Hannah and Lily Gibson placed third in spread design for their coverage of the theater department at Northwestern.
I really liked working with everyone. I made some new friends, so I'm really happy about that. The overall yearbook looked great. I was really proud of it. I remember when I first got it, I showed it to everyone I knew and was like, oh my God, look what we did. I was so proud.
Even with the hybrid schedules and virtual students, the Northwestern yearbook staff has still set its sights on another all-state achievement. The 2020 Aeneid, entitled Not Exactly But, will follow a more trendy and fun approach to its coverage of the school year. It's set to be released in late May or early June. Back to you, Daniel.
Thank you, Savannah. And for those at home, we will keep you updated on anything related to the new yearbook as the story unfolds. Now we turn our attention to Christopher GRAVLEY, giving us an update on how the pandemic has affected Northwestern's theater department.
There's no denying that the pandemic has greatly affected school life, but one group in particular has had its whole entire program turn on its head. The Northwestern Theater Department, known for its grand and award-winning sellout productions, has had to cancel its shows, converting their plays and projects into filming and streaming. While this may sound like a fantastic idea and a way to engage a wider audience in a pandemic, to the theater department and those in it, it creates more a headache than solutions.
So after your headshot, please come back to the room, and when you're finished there, join us in the auditorium.
This is Ms. TAMARA Altman, theater teacher at Northwestern High School. At the start of the school year, she knew that there would be challenges returning to school in the fall, but did not anticipate the depth of those challenges.
I knew that we wouldn't have an audience, so we had to do theater, though. I knew that there was still a story to tell. So I dug through the file cabinet and found a play that we wrote here at Northwestern called Geese Jail.
Geese Jail, a play written by students in the department, revolves around absurdist humor and conformity as characters in the play become geese as a result of their crimes.
Well, I knew it was going to be a play and it was student written, so I went in knowing that it would probably be different than some of the things I've done before, and it was my first show at Northwestern.
With the script, no, I did not. I mean, when I first looked at it, it was very strange. It was an interesting kind of script, but, it was pretty fun.
The play and costumes were created by the theater students, and the production was to serve as an entry for the department's fall competition.
Hi, my name is Bob. My job was to guard all the people that were in geese jail and make sure they were following all the rules.
The competition, hosted by South Carolina Theater Association, also had new rules in effect to make sure that those entering the competition were being COVID compliant.
So we decided to do a competition piece because we felt like we could manage student actors on film fairly easily. But the rules were that only one actor could be in the shot at one time. And so we decided to do our show on Zoom. And when we started Zoom, it was easy to have the rehearsal, but when we began to add in sound effects and lighting and animations, it got very complicated.
For help with filming and editing, ALTMAN enlisted the help of Mr. Joshua Hunia, a Northwestern family and consumer science teacher who had also had his hand in creating many promotional and informational videos for Northwestern. In jumping on board, Hunia's first big move was securing the technology to do the job.
I was more than happy to take on the challenge of doing this production, but I knew we did not have the technology at the school, nor did I have my own technology that I typically use. So we had to go to ATC and get a Mac from them, and then have like Zoom, OBS, and Premiere Pro installed, so that way we could take on this big production.
With everything in place, one would think that this production could be done easily. A cast of excellent actors, check. Rules in place and COVID compliant, check. An editor who can piece together the cast vision, check. So what could go wrong?
Everything went wrong.
A lot went wrong.
And before, it was very chaotic.
Oh, it was a nightmare.
Heads wouldn't stay on the actors' heads. Actors were absent because of the quarantine.
Let Kaden back in so she can hear this.
Yes.
Computer systems crashed.
My entire screen is like frozen.
We're about to lose sound for Nydia. I am freaking out.
And it really became a funny joke, actually.
The complications that intervened with the production were enough for the theater department to accept defeat in terms of creating an entry for this competition. However, an almost dead production is still on life support. During Hunia's absence, the cast and crew convened in a last-ditch effort to film together. Each member, 6 feet apart, stood in front of individual green screens and filmed using their school laptops, ensuring consistency in sound, lighting, and picture.
I'm not gonna lie, when I did the show, I would get frustrated at times just because of everything that was going on. I am excited to see the outcome. We worked really hard, so I'm excited about it overall.
That was really fun. It was like my first experience doing acting, and it was something I really enjoyed.
As of now, the production is still in limbo and has no set publishing date. Regardless of when it will air, there is no denying that the resilient efforts of this group deserves great applause. They are truly role models of tenacity and grit. For Trojan Way TV, I'm Christopher GRAVLEY.
Resilient indeed, Christopher. You're absolutely right. A true test of grit. At this time, we want to pause for a break from our newscast and give you a sneak peek at an upcoming student-produced mini-series that will hit school-approved streaming platforms this spring. Hello again and welcome back. If you have just joined us, I'm Daniel for Trojan Way TV, and our next story takes us to Savannah BYRD, providing information on a new type of sports activity here at the home of Purple and Gold.
Thank you, Daniel. With the rise in popularity of competitive gaming, it was only a matter of time before esports would solidify itself as a legitimate sports activity in high schools. Esports, a form of competitive gameplay that utilizes multiplayer mode video gaming, has now made its way to Northwestern and shares many similarities with other sports teams.
So we meet every day after school, Monday through Thursday. The different games play on different days, but every day someone is on Discord. There's at least 2 teams playing, practicing. I'm monitoring between the 2 of them. So overall, it does function most like a normal sports team where we have practices, we have game days. I'm monitoring the practices. The students are working together.
Northwestern teams currently compete against other schools through a league known as Play Versus. Play Versus hosts competitions in games such as Fortnite, League of Legends, Rocket League, and Overwatch, with Smite also being an option even though there is not a team at Northwestern. In regards to tournament play, Northwestern has seen success in its first season with all teams making the playoffs, and the Rocket League team consisting of Andre Mills, Lucas Farrell, and Noah Schneider, ranking in the top 8.
For the games that are on right now, it's a lot of practice and a lot of learning the games that are on there right now. You can't really just jump in onto the team and expect to do well like the rest of them. But in general, it's pretty fun, and it's a good thing to get into, especially being able to relate to, like, for when we go back into school, we can talk to the kids that are on the teams and have like something to talk about.
As of now, Northwestern has 26 team members prepared for the upcoming season. According to Coach Davis, they are looking for more students to join and diversify their talent pool as Play Versus continues to add more games for competitive play. Back to you, Daniel.
Thank you, Savannah. And of course, if any of you are interested in joining the esports team, you can stop by Mr. Davis's room in E210 or email him at acdavis@rhmail.org. And now we head over to Carmen Sanders, who is gauging if Northwestern students are putting the Z's in Zoom.
Thank you, Daniel. As students all over the country have been thrust into a new way of learning, a looming new phenomenon has made an appearance: Zoom fatigue. According to various news outlets and psychology publications, Zoom fatigue is the tiredness and burnout that results from constant use of virtual platforms such as Zoom, Skype, Google Classroom, and the like. This energy drain can be a result of both explicit and subliminal reasons. On the more explicit side, having to actively focus on a screen for several hours a day creates a physical and mental exhaustion, leading to headaches, eye strain, and the aforementioned tiredness. Psychologists have noted some subliminal reasons for the energy drain. For example, delays in audio and lack of seeing an entire person forces our brains to work harder to process nonverbal communication and what we see and hear. But what if it's all a big hoax? As teenagers, many of us are used to being exposed to screens all day. FaceTime, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, Canvas, Google, and the list goes on. So much that we are used to the adults in our lives saying that our generation overindulges in screen time. Does Zoom and all of that screen time really tire someone out more than the average in-person school day? I took to the courtyard of Northwestern to see how hybrid students felt about the effects of Zoom in their continuous learning. All right, so are you more tired after a full day on Zoom or after a full day at school?
So I would say I find myself more tired after a full day on Zoom.
And why do you think that Zoom makes you more tired?
Probably just because the environment is different. When I'm here at school, I'm more active. I'm actually walking around doing things, so I'm able to keep myself awake. But when I'm at home, I'm most likely sitting in my bed or on my couch, and I'm not moving that much.
Would you say that you are more tired on a full day of Zoom classes or a full day at school?
I would say a full day on Zoom classes.
Okay, and what separates these Zoom classes from your phone, TikTok, YouTube, stuff like that?
What you mean by that?
Like, why are you more tired on your Zoom classes? What's the difference between?
I stay up all night the day before because I know I got Zoom, so I just stay up all night instead of going to sleep because I know I got school.
All right, would you say that you're more tired after a full day of Zoom classes or after a full day in school?
Full day in school.
Okay, and why is being in school more tired than being on Zoom?
Because I physically actually have to go there and get ready in comparison to Zoom when I could just stay at home.
All right, so are you guys more tired after a full day at school or after a full day in your Zoom classes?
At school. At Zoom.
School.
Zoom.
All right, why school?
Cause teachers, they give you so much work to do and stuff, so it's you don't get a break, and then homework at home, it's just too much. No free time at all or sleep.
Okay, and why Zoom?
Because you're sitting there, you're sitting there like waiting for the teachers to like make the Zoom, and half the time some of the Zooms don't work, and you have to email your teachers back and forth, and I just feel like it's a lot more stressful than being at school.
So would you say that you're more tired after a full day of Zoom meetings or after a full day at school?
I would say Zoom meetings because I feel like I don't know, school days are more relaxed and fun because you get to see your friends, whereas Zoom meetings you have to do constant work if your class is rigorous enough, and yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like Zoom meetings are more tiring.
All right, so would you say that you're more tired after a full day of Zoom meetings or after a full day at school?
Zoom for sure.
All right, and what separates Zoom from being on TikTok and Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, that type of stuff?
It's, not only the education, I think it's more hard and you have to focus more because you're in a familiar environment where you do other things other than schoolwork. So there's constant distractions, whereas if you're at school, you're in the right mindset to learn.
All right, thank you. Well, Trojans, there you have it.
Thank you once again, Trojans, for watching. As always, we want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel and get the 411 on all things Northwestern. I'm Daniel for Trojan Way TV. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and as always, go Trojans.